Hi guys. Hi. I feel like this video is going to be a really good one. I really do. So I think today I'm backwards a bit, I'm farther away from the camera because I feel like every time I'm talking to you guys, I literally be like in there. I think another reason why I come so close to the camera is because people tell me that they can't hear me or the audio is a bit wonky. I'm really sorry, you guys. I literally just record from my phone or from my computer. So yeah, with that being said, I feel like this video is going to eat, but hopefully I can make multiple videos today. This is my first video of the day, so the outfit is giving. Outfit is really cute. So let me tell you guys something. I was debating if I should have it like this, just like this for the video, or just play with the scarf a little bit and do something with the scarf, or just leave it like this, or I could do something. I don't know what I want to do, to be honest. Do this or do this. Nah, honestly, I don't know. Before I actually started recording, I was just playing with the scarf, what I wanted to see, what I wanted to do, and I still don't. I think I'll just leave it like this. I think this is cute. So today's video it's going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be a very interesting one because the title of this video will be Growing Up a First Daughter. Yeah, it's already going to be a really good video, but I'm going to try my best to compress my 20 years of experience being the first daughter. I'm going to try my best to compress it into 20 minutes, which 2 minutes have already gone, because I always have my videos always have to be 20 minutes, right? But hopefully there will be part ones and part twos. I don't want to make a long part, just even if there'll be parts, it's just gonna be 2 parts. I don't want to make 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just gonna be 2. But let's see how this video goes. So today we'll be talking about my experience growing up as the first daughter. Shit! Even just saying that is so much load on my chest. Oh my days, literally just thinking about it, I feel crushed already. But yeah, we're gonna talk about my experience, what it was like growing up as a first daughter, as Ada, But yeah, so before we proceed, I'm just going to give you guys a little background on myself and my family. Not too much details, but just you feel me, just a summary. So as you guys know, my name is Chinyere. I'm 20 years old. I was born the first daughter and the first child. Jesus. So I was born the first daughter and the first child. I'm trying to think, because I know what I want to say, but I'm trying to think of the ways to say it. I'm the first child. I have 4 siblings. I have 3 other siblings from my mom and another sister from another mom. But let me tell you guys something. When I say I have siblings, when I usually tell people I have siblings, just say I have 4 siblings. I don't typically divide, but I'm trying to make it make sense to you people, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so I'm the first child. I have 4 siblings. Yes, so my parents got married really early. I think my dad married my mom when he was 24 and when she was 19. So last year I would have been married if I was my mom. But yeah, so she married him when she was 19. and then they had me. That's crazy. But and then they had me. Let me just be honest with you guys. When my mom was younger, like at the time she married my dad, my mom was a baddie. My mom was a baddie, bruh. And let me tell you guys something. My mom is like Cameroonian, right? So I'm half Nigerian, half Cameroonian. But my mom is like super light skinned. She's super light skinned. I wish I could show you a picture of my mom. I feel like my mom is one of those ladies that they could pass for a white woman if they had straight hair. That's how light skinned she was. Mind you, this was like 20 years ago. So, and she was really beautiful. I'm not trying to, you know, speak down on my dad or nothing, but if it was based on today's standards and how materialistic everybody is today, my dad did not deserve my mom. My mom was too beautiful, bruh. She was super light skinned, too light skinned. And then every time I look at their wedding pictures, like my dad would, like, you know, he just looked really skinny. I don't know. But yeah, every time I look at like their wedding pictures, like, damn, my mom was really popping. Really. She was so beautiful. And then, although I don't have their wedding pictures, to be honest, I'd love to show you guys. So, trying to find a picture of my mom. If I don't find it, I'll just leave it and continue with my story so I don't waste time. You know, I'm just going to leave it. I'll show you guys another time. But my mom was really light skinned. She was really beautiful, skinny, and everything. So yeah, they got together. They gave birth to me. But I don't think my parents were married at the time that they gave birth to me. Because in their wedding pictures, I was in their wedding pictures. I was 1 year old. I was in their wedding picture. So I was literally the flower girl. I was the flower girl for their own wedding. So, and then I seen pictures of myself and their wedding photos where I'm just like always frowning. Like I'm always... So I was 1 year old at the time where they got married. And fun fact is that they did get married on my birthday. The day I was 1 year old, that's the day that they got married. So it was my birthday and their wedding, you know. So yeah. When we were younger, we moved houses a couple of times. There was a time my parents used to live close to my grandma's house, somewhere in Ojodu, in Lagos. So it was like this small, like, you know, this small flats where we used to live, and then we moved somewhere else and then we moved somewhere else again. I feel like we moved like 3 times or 4 times, I'm not sure. But yeah, back to my story. When I was younger, at the time when my mom and my dad were still married, I did not really realize, mind you, this was like when I was like 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like the time period I'm talking about. I did not really feel the pressure per se of being a first daughter, or the weight on your shoulders. Literally, I'm carrying everybody on my back. I'm being silly, but for real, I think at the time when my mom was around, I did not really understand too much of, like, you know, the heaviness of being the first daughter and the first child. And because my mom was still there for us, like obviously she used to do like most of the things and blah blah blah. You know, we were a bit more covered, if that makes any sense, because like a mom was in the house, right? And then after that, a couple years later, my parents got divorced. It was a very strenuous divorce. It was a very rigorous process, a lot of back and forth. But anyways, that happened. I think after that happened, that's when I started to feel the heaping pressure and heaping responsibility of being the first daughter and the first child. Okay, so I would also say that being the first daughter, you almost feel like you have to give up a huge part of yourself to see your, like, you feel like you have to sacrifice a huge bit of yourself, or just not let yourself grow at all. Like, for example, I remember like being really younger and little. I almost feel like I could not afford to make mistakes, because if I did make mistakes, I think my parents sometimes forget that if and when I do make those mistakes, I think my parents forget that in as much as they want me to be an example for my younger siblings, I'm still a child. I still don't know what I'm doing completely, right? So I always had to be like the one that, everybody was looking up to, like Chichi's going to be the Chichi's like the standard. And to be honest, I'm going to be honest, I think I did realize that I was the golden child from my dad, at least. Like after my parents divorced, my mom lived in Nigeria for a bit and then she moved. And mind you guys, I'm just giving you like a summarized version. This is not like the in-depth. I feel like the in-depth will take forever, but I'm just like giving you guys a summary of my experience. So yeah, I think living in the house with my dad, it was obvious that I was the golden child. It was obvious. It was it was obvious. My dad would never admit it. He would never, I'll be like, oh yes, that's actually true. But it was something that he did not have to say for everybody to know. He didn't have to say for everybody to know. It was just like an unsaid, fact that I was the golden child. I think when I was younger, I could sense the feeling of admiration from my dad. The deep sense of admiration and love from my dad. I could sense it. He's like, he puts me on a pedestal in comparison to the rest of his children. So I did sense it. But I think when I was younger, I intentionally wanted to be naive. I intentionally wanted to be like, no, what do you guys mean? Like, like I intentionally always downplayed the fact that I knew I was the golden child, right? I always downplayed that fact because I didn't want anybody to feel like, oh, they were less loved or less cherished. I think another part of me being a first like daughter is that I'm very maternal. I'm very, emotional. I'm not emotional in general though. Like, I mean emotional when it comes to my siblings and my family. Things that hurts them, it has, in fact, if you hurt, you have killed me. I've already died. But things that concern my siblings, it really hurts me to the core. And it hurts me even more when I'm not there to protect them as much as I can. Anyways, with that being said, that's one story to the side. So I always like try to downplay the fact that I was the golden child. I was the one that was giving more privileges. I think a very significant like point in my childhood when I sensed that I was the golden child. I will still not fully acknowledge it, but I sensed it strongly. So there was one time, I think I'm not sure how old I was, but I was like maybe like anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7 or something. I don't know. But yeah, my dad just like, it was my birthday. It was my birthday that day. And my birthday happened to be on a Sunday. And my dad, called me to the front of the church. Hey, Jesus. And my dad called me to the front of the church. He was on the altar. And then he was just like, oh, you guys, this is my daughter. Today is her birthday. Mind you, I was like, maybe, I don't know how, I'm not sure how old I was exactly, but I know I was less than 6 for sure. And then, he was like, oh, today is her birthday, blah, blah, blah. And he gave me like literally a mounting of gifts, like presents, like that. They were fully wrapped. I was like, because my dad doesn't know anything about wrapping anything or anything about nothing. Oh my gosh, what was that? What happened? Damn. I'm so sorry, you guys. I just heard like a loud noise. So yeah, he gave me like gifts. I think there were like 4 or 5. I have a picture on my phone. Yeah, they're on my phone, which I'm using to record, so I can't show you guys. But I think that was the first time when I was like, oh, okay. I that was the first time I got the signal. So, and I think like after that, my dad sometimes, I think he didn't do it intentionally, but it was very clear. Like sometimes he would get special gifts just for me and do special things just for me. And also the point that he didn't really remember any of his children's birthday besides mine. So, wait, chill, give me a second. Yeah, I'm back. He didn't remember, my other sibling's birthday besides mine. So things that concerned me, he usually took it as priority in comparison to the rest of his children. But I think that also meant that in his eyes, I was always perfect. Even the times that I was struggling, even the times that I was confused, even the times that I didn't know what to do, it just felt like I was like an invisible force, like an invisible, like, power. that or an invisible pressure that was just on me. Like I couldn't mess up, or I always feel like I had to pretend. I always feel like I had to pretend. I feel like I couldn't be genuinely myself. And I feel like I couldn't be genuinely myself because everything that I do or I did would be put on a pedestal. Like, oh, like, see her, why can't they be? I'm like, people. And it used to hurt me because I was just like, give my siblings a break. Give my siblings a break. I feel like I used to tell them sometimes when we were all younger, like I admire how much they could just live their life and how much they could just be free and how much they could just do things, and people would be like, I mean, they would scold them for the things that they did, but how much they could truly express themselves, and just be seen as kids. But I feel like if I did lash out, or if I did, do the wrong things or make those mistakes, it would be seen like, oh, you're not just a kid, you're just like, it's not like, oh, she's a kid, she's messing up, she's doing what kids do. It's almost like you're setting the wrong standards, you're doing this, because of you everybody will go astray. I'm just like, even I don't know what I'm doing. So sometimes I think it just made me to wear like a double mask, and a lot of the time I did feel like I had a double mask at home. Genuinely speaking, I feel like I couldn't really express myself or say, how I truly felt. I was always self-sacrificing. For example, if let's say like there were four, right? Let's say there were 3 cookies. Automatically, without thinking, I'm going to be the one that's not going to have a cookie. Not because they asked me, or like my siblings asked me, but they don't have to ask me for me to know that's a elder daughterly thing to do. They don't. If they're asking me, that means I'm not really observant to their problems. So sometimes it used to hurt me because of some of the things I used to give up. I really did want those things for myself, but I was just like, you know what, you guys should go and have fun. I like, okay, for example, let me give an example. Like during school parties, right? Let's say we had like a fun fair at school and everybody goes out, everybody's playing. Like in my head, especially when I know that like we're all going to be together, automatically I cannot have fun. Automatically I can, but I won't have fun. I know that I have to look after this person's bag, make sure that they come back home with their bag, with their shoes. And my brother used to lose everything when he was younger. He was that person. How do you go to school and not come back with your shoes? So my brother was really, really rough when he was younger. He was that kind of person that used to fight, tear his clothes, I'm just like, nah, that was too much. But yeah. So automatically I could not have the fun that I wanted to. I have to like ask this person, where's your shoe, I have to literally be following them around. So when they drop stuff, I'll pick it up. So if I'm looking after like how many children, like, okay, what, and mind you, I'm still a child at this point, so I just have to be mature. I just have to be the one figured out. Because for example, let's say I happen to go and play and I'm literally just having a good time in school, and let's say it's time for us to go home, and when eventually we're going home, it's going to be like, oh, Chichi, you were here and your brother does not have this one. Chichi, you were here and you saw your sister did this one. You were here and she broke her leg. I'm just like, bro. There's no way I could have known everything. There's no way I could have been there for everyone. So I think that's a little bit. I just had to be self-sacrificed. Automatically, it just meant that I wouldn't have fun. I had to keep an eye on them. I have to know what they're doing. When they get into fights, I have to go and separate them, like, support my siblings, stuff like that. So automatically, it just meant that I had to be self-sacrificing. So, and I think that was like, I have a couple seconds left to the end of the video. But yeah, I just had to be self-sacrificing as a first daughter. I feel like I have more stuff to say, but because I have a couple seconds to end the video, I'm just going to, make another video and post it. But thank you guys for watching this far. I hope my thoughts made sense. I hope my ramble made sense. I hope the things that I said made sense, hopefully. And thank you for watching my video, you guys. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate you and have a wonderful day. Watch the part 2. Thank you.